Messiah being accompanied down the aisle. A show of support by fellow members of the High Five. Brand new CZW World Tag Team Champions Trent Acid and Johnny Kashmere, B-Boy, and Dewey Donovan. So far, John, it's been a night of the High Five. They have dominated the evening. They've been the talk, the toast of the town. So far tonight, they are 2-0. B-Boy with a win over Rick Blade, and brand new tag team champions, the Backseat Boys, beating the unbeatable, the Hate Club.
And Eric, you over there talking like you surprised that they in control of the title scene here in CZW. I, for one, am not surprised.
And the Backseat Boys and B-Boy retreating. You know they're not going to be far. They're probably standing right around the curtain, right around the aisleway. And this was a challenge issued by Nick Mondo for the boys in the back, for the fans, that everybody that felt disgraced and spit on by that sick individual. He threatened me earlier tonight, John. He threatened me.
Oh, well, you should be making those tasteless thumb jokes, Eric.
It was you.
I don't make tasteless thumb jokes.
He's after the wrong guy. Then you see, John, I was pointing to you. I said it was him.
He don't believe you, Eric. We brown like that.
Shut up. Let's do something straight. I don't know anyone else in the Mondo. I'm not doing it to please you people. I'm doing it because I got nothing to do tonight. I just want to kick his ass.
Oh, yeah.
What's wrong with you people? It's fucking snowing out here, and you're all here. Don't you got something better to do in Philly? Also, who's this guy who's up here? The cheap seats up there. What are you two here for all these Philadelphians? Huh? Do you know who I am? Do you know who I am?
Yeah, you know who he is.
He's a piece of garbage, that's who he is.
I was America's Most Wanted, damn it!
Yeah, he's a TV star.
Superstar,
Yeah, on America's Most Wanted.
I didn't have to hear cheers, shut up. Whether you like it or not, High Five is taking over this company, taking over the rest of the world. The future is ours, and don't you fucking forget it.
Yeah, Eric, don't ever forget it.
I won't forget it. How about Nick Mondo? You think Nick Mondo's gonna forget it?
Let's see if Nick Mondo has the heart to show up.
I think he's here. Mondo wanted to get it on earlier tonight, John. He didn't even want to wait, but the Messiah retreated like the coward that he is.
The coward, Eric. After all that man's been through, he would know. For your information, Eric, he was assaulted so bad that he was a TV star for one night on America's Most Wanted.
I heard that somewhere before.
Show that man a little respect.
John, this one is going to be a classic. What a rivalry over the last 13 months that has developed between these two young athletes. The Messiah with 2 wins over Nick Mondo. Nick Mondo with 1 win. They have splitted victories here in Combat Zone Wrestling. The latest, Nick Mondo, who used the assault driver to pin the Messiah at Zandig's Tournament of Death, John.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I remember that very well, Eric. And you should remember the fact that Messiah just came off with that terrible beating, that terrible assault, that put him on America's Most Wanted.
And how about the Messiah?
He was distraught.
How about the Messiah?
He was injured.
1 year ago. It was this month, John, 1 year ago in February of 2002, when these two men met for the very first time, John, in our old building, where the Messiah scored the win with the fall from grace.
You mean that cheap little bingo hall?
Yeah, that cheap bingo hall. That garbage dump.
It's always been a garbage dump, Eric, anyway.
The words expressed by John House do not solely reflect those of myself and other members of Combat Zone Wrestling.
I mean, you can't even use the bathroom in that place over there.
They had a bathroom?
Anyway, CZW World Heavyweight title on the line. It's the World Heavyweight title.
He said it was a title match, John. I'm assuming it's the World Heavyweight
Well,
title.
he has both titles, and he's the type of champion that will put both titles on the line.
Well, I'll tell you something. Nick Mondo, the last man, he beat Messiah. He has the last win between these two at the Tournament of Death. That has to play fresh into the mind of the Messiah.
Yeah, beating the Messiah once is hard, Eric. Let alone beat twice in a row.
This one's going to be interesting. This one's going to be good. This exactly what a world title match should be all about. Remember back, John, last year where Nick Mondo came out and stated that his goal was to be world heavyweight champion. Oh, Nick Mondo may be going for the M Bison early. Nick Mondo may be going for that M Bison early. Yeah, spinning heel kick. Spinning heel kick.
Mondo already going to those high-risk maneuvers early in this world for his title championship matchup.
Let me tell you something, John. You thought that this place went bonkers last month when Ruckus defeated Trent Acid for the Junior Heavyweight Championship. If the Messiah loses tonight to sick Nick Mondo, this place will go absolutely insane. It's going to be a party here.
Yeah, it's a lot easier said than done.
What a coward.
We don't feel like wrestling tonight.
What a coward.
Oh, please don't give him the mic.
Oh, is that where it is?
Oh, is that one of them tasteless thumb jokes?
Is that where it is?
Oh, that's still a tasteless thumb joke, Eric.
All right, go ahead. Little baby Jesus.
A baby Jesus? A baby Jesus?
What is that what they call it on the West Coast? Little baby Jesus.
Oh,
baby Jesus.
Oh, he been done struck a nerve now.
He's gotten to the head of the Messiah for sure. Baby Jesus, huh?
He's on.
The Messiah comes and we got a fight in our hands.
Oh, Mondo did it now. He got the champion man.
We got an old school brawl. The Messiah now with the exploder. Messiah shoots in Nick Mondo. Messiah with a clothesline. The baby Jesus. The World Heavyweight Champion, the Iron Man Champion, the Messiah. This one's going to be good, John. This one is exactly what a main event should be. A World Championship matchup.
I mean, Eric, the Messiah is a great champion. He has the Iron Man Championship and the World Championship. How many other superstars can say they held both titles at one time?
Hey, when's he going to give Adam Flash a rematch at that Iron Man Championship, huh?
Oh. Don't talk to me about those things.
John, I'll tell you what, it would not surprise me to see Thumbtacks at some point enter the ring.
Big body slam there by Nick Mondo. The champion is down. Springboard.
Springboard leg drop. Hooks the leg. We're going to have a new champion. No. John, these two athletes can go all night at high stakes. Back in May of last year, these two men were involved in what some call the greatest match in CZW history. 64 minutes. 64 minutes. And they were the co-winners. They both won the match. So they could have went arguably another 64 minutes.
Messiah walking out of there, the world champion. Sick Nick Mondo walking out that night, the Iron Man champion at high stakes. But this time it's one-on-one.
And it was Nick Mondo that actually lost those titles for the Messiah in a three-way dance. The Messiah was not even pinned, but he lost his titles in that match. There is some bad blood between these two, believe me, John.
We're going to talk about two superstars who just do not like each other. Baseball slide there by Mondo.
Tope con Hilo. Tope con Hilo.
Tope con Hilo.
Tope con Hilo. Mondo's got a lot of fans here. A lot of Mondo maniacs. Nick Mondo swings the Messiah into that guardrail, that unforgiving guardrail.
Mondo now stalking the champion. Stalking the Messiah, big right hand.
Nick Mondo shoots the Messiah in. Oh no, the Messiah with the reversal. The champion reverses. The champion reverses. The World Heavyweight Iron Man Champion in control at this time. Who the hell does he think he is to threaten me in the ring earlier tonight, John?
He's the World Heavyweight Champion. That's who he is.
I'll sue him. I'll sue his ass.
Of course you would. You're a punk, Eric.
I'm not a punk.
Let me tell you something.
Plancha.
One of these superstars threatening me, boy, it'd be on. It would be on.
I believe he threw you into our background several weeks ago on Fake You TV. You weren't
I don't
doing
know what you're talking about.
Laying on the ground and crying about it.
Messiah and myself, we brown like that.
Oh, you're brown like that.
Uh-oh.
How come you're not a part of this high five? The Messiah now has him up.
Because I got a job to do. That's carry you.
Oh, is that what it is?
Messiah's got him up.
With the prophecy, the prophecy.
One,
Nick Mondo's
two, hurry up,
prophecy.
hard time, damn it. Slowest count in the history of our company.
Hey, he's the senior official around here. Show some respect, will ya?
Yeah, he looks like he's about 85.
Look at that, going to work in the lower back. Big leg lariat out of the champion. A champion that nobody should be proud of, John.
Oh, I'm proud of our
Nobody should be
champion.
proud of.
He's got 2 belts, Eric, 2 belts.
All of our fans that cried for him. All of our fans that donated money to him. These fans aren't rich. Some of them don't even have jobs. They need to steal money
You know
to
what?
donate
Not
it
only
to
do they
him.
not have jobs, but most of them don't have teeth.
Well, that's beside the point, John. But regardless of that, the Messiah turned his back on everybody. They're taking it outside of the ring. Something I would have expected a lot earlier between these two. A table, John. Is anything sacred anymore?
Mondo now, big right hands onto the champion. The champion, the fighting champion he is, fighting back.
He lays him on the table, John. He lays him on the table. And I'll tell you what, Nick Mondo is quick as a cat. He may roll off of that table before Messiah even has the chance to turn around. Nick Mondo now stands up, takes the legs out. Nick Mondo gets up.
And this Nick Mondo is sick, Eric. There's nothing sane about him at all.
Nick Mondo up. Hurricane Rana. Hurricane Rana off the top. He may be going for that M. Bison, John.
Uh-oh.
He may be going for that M. Bison. M. Bison.
He missed.
Single leg takedown.
Well scouted there by the champ Messiah.
Cape Rana. We're seeing a lot of new moves tonight out of the arsenal of the Messiah. Maybe it was from spending a lot of time recently with B-Boy and the Backseat Boys.
Uh-oh, he's got him up.
The crucifixion bomb, John. The crucifixion bomb, no.
Uh-oh.
He's trying to give him that crucifixion bomb on the table. Nick Mondo, a very agile athlete. Clotheslines him on that top rope.
Nick Mondo is capable of anything, especially when there's a championship belt on the line.
And look at Dewey Donovan getting involved. Dewey Donovan needs to be tossed out of here. There's a lot of bad blood between him and Hard Tog, I'll tell you that. The Messiah now pounds on Nick Mondo.
Messiah now the champ. We will refer to the Messiah as the champ, okay? Setting up that table, laying Nick Mondo across that table.
Turns my stomach just thinking about it, that he's the representative of this company.
Oh, he's the champion, the #1 man in this company.
Look, he's even using a chair. What a cheater. What a cheater.
And he's beat them all, Eric. Former champions, former multi-time champions.
I think I think this is a tribute.
Bam!
What a splash. Clean up in aisle 5, John. The Messiah paying homage to a hardcore legend of this sport and sacrificing his own body in the process.
The champion rolling Nick Mondo back into the ring.
He's got his foot on the rope. He's got both of them on the ropes. What a scumbag, John.
I mean, what a champion Messiah is offering Nick Mondo a title shot. How many champions do that?
I'll tell you
Not many.
what, Nick Mondo was the first to step up and issue the challenge. Messiah spinning around, looking he was going to go for the Godsmack. Nick Mondo has him now. Has him for the Mondo drop. The Mondo drop.
Oh, it doesn't look good for the Messiah. Springboard. Oh,
Leg drop.
bam!
And he hits it at a crucial time of the match while the Messiah is stunned. He's praying.
He called for a timeout, Eric.
He's praying. Keep reading the Bible. Keep reading the Bible. He's one of those annoying people that knock on the door when you're trying to eat dinner or watch
Eric,
a
you
football
didn't see
game.
the champ call for a timeout before Mondo kicked him?
There are no timeouts in CZW, John.
Yeah, but when you're the champion, you should be granted some kind of privilege.
A table is in play, John. A table is in play. Again, when you have Nick Mondo and the Messiah involved in a match, anything can happen. A lot of blood has been spilled between these two.
Oh my God, Nick Mondo. What's he doing with that table?
I think he's propping it on the turnbuckle, John. Trading blows. Nick Mondo places the Messiah. He may break it. We saw the Tournament of Death. This man isn't against breaking tables. He was a finalist. Nick Mondo. What a clothesline. What a clothesline.
Well scouted there by the champ. 1, 2.
Nick Mondo being picked up by the hair. Now he's gonna, what's he gonna do? Power bomb? Is he gonna give him a crucifixion bomb?
Here we go.
Crucifix bomb. He's crucifying Nick Mondo. No, Nick Mondo. Mondo ducks. Back kick.
Kick right there to the midsection.
Nick Mondo has him up. Has him in position for a power bomb.
Oh no.
Has him in position for a power bomb, and no. Both men have well scouted each other. Remember, they kept trading moves back and forth on top of the stage at high stakes before one of them was able to nail, that being Nick Mondo, the assault driver, off of the stage. Crucifix bomb.
Bam!
Nick Mondo in a lot of trouble right now. The challenger is in a lot of trouble. The champion with a second win, a second lease on life in this one. The champion needs to make the cover. He needs to make it, John. He may have scored the knockout with that move. The Messiah now dragging Nick Mondo by the foot, but Nick Mondo has an incredible tolerance.
We got a 1, we got a 2.
Nick Mondo has an incredible tolerance of pain. He went to the finals of that death tournament. He's a former multi-time Ironman champion. We have seen him have his body dragged around in broken glass. He's been slammed to barbed wire. He's had everything you can imagine slammed over his head. He's not going to give it up that easy. He's going for the fall from grace. The same move he beat him with a year ago.
Wait a minute.
Nick Mondo blocks it. Nick Mondo blocks it.
He landed on his feet.
He blocked it. He blocked it. Springboard, Blue Thunder driver. Blue Thunder driver. Nick Mondo's come alive. He's got the leg. He's going to be a new champion, though. You could feel it. I feel for this guy. He's been a part of CZW for a long, long time.
That's his problem.
Nick Mondo wants it all. Nick Mondo wants to end this high five. He wants to be the man to cure the HIV tonight here on Fake U TV.
Oh yeah, a whole lot easier said than done.
Nick Mondo now, what's he got? A chair. A staple gun. A staple gun, John House.
And for the fans at home, you can see more live action like this on March the 8th when we're back at the CZW Arena in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
He dropped it. He dropped it, no. He nailed the Messiah a little bit. Right elbow. Chair. No, the Messiah counters. Chair to the back. Oh no, he's got the staple gun. What's he got? The staple gun. He's out of his mind. He's out of what kind of a champion would do that to somebody? What kind of a champion would do that to somebody?
He stapled his hand to his back.
They teach him that in
Bam!
Messiah now with the staple gun to the forehead. What kind of a champion is it? Somebody do something about this guy. He's insane.
Oh, he's funny, Eric.
He's got a gun. He's got a gun. He needs to be stopped right now. Nick Mondo with such an incredible tolerance for pain, but I don't know, John. A staple gun stapled in his body. And Hartog grabs it.
What a champion. What is Hartog doing interfering in this match?
Trying to restore some authority. Thank you very much.
About time he did his job.
What's he going for? The electric chair? Is he going for Mondo's own assault driver? That's Mondo's own move. That's a man who knows how to counter his own move. You don't go for another man's move. The assault driver. The same move he used to beat him with at the Tournament of Death. No. He's got him again. They are trading back and forth. What an equal matchup this is. Nick Mondo. He falls backwards into a bridge. His shoulders are down though.
Big 2 count there. The champion's starting to get frustrated. Mondo kicking out.
The Messiah right now needs to end this matchup. He needs to score that knockout and score it quick. Again, these are two guys that went 64 minutes. Carlito's way. Carlito's way. Again, the Messiah, so tired. His equilibrium is off. He doesn't quite have the same kind of strength that he would have in the opening of the match to get Nick Mondo up for a move like that.
2.5 there, 2.5 count there by Rob Hartog.
The Messiah picks up Nick Mondo, puts him in the corner. Reverse knife edge, reverse knife edge. Nick Mondo, a former member of the Big Deals, John. Former CZW Iron Man champion many times. Former tag team champion. He's got the Messiah. He's got the Messiah for the assault driver. The assault driver.
No, not this.
Assault driver on the chair. He's gonna do it. He's going for two. And he kicks out. He kicks out. It's a different night tonight.
2 3/4. The Messiah kicking out of that, Eric, right on that steel chair.
That's the same move he used to pin him in their last contest at the Tournament of Death, John.
But this time it wasn't enough.
And the fans right now just waiting, just watching, just looking at this contest, this classic championship matchup here tonight on Fake U TV. You need a chainsaw to cut the intensity, John. That is how tense this rivalry is.
Big right hand there by Nick Mondo. Another one. Another one. Uh-oh.
Repeated right hand.
He's signaling for something. Scouted there by the Messiah, the champion.
He's got him one-handed for the fall from grace. Fall from grace. Fall from grace. Fall from grace.
Wow, did you see Nick Mondo's head bounce off that canvas?
I sure did. It's a deadly move. It should be outlawed.
The shoulders up.
Shoulders up.
Nick Mondo got the shoulder up and that foot across that bottom rope.
Here comes Max Smack. Here comes Max Smack. What does he have with him? Max Smack now pulling Nick Mondo out. Max Smack and Nick Mondo, their association goes back to the Big Deals. Messiah has no idea that he is even in the ring. What is that? What's in that can? What's in that can?
Uh-oh.
The Messiah now sees him. Is that thumbtacks, John? Could that be thumbtacks?
Eric, that could be anything with Matt Smack and Sick Nick Mondo.
Body slam. What's in that can, John? Thumbtacks! Thumbtacks! Thumbtacks!
Uh-oh.
Springboard leg! Look at the thumbtacks! Look at the Messiah! He's got him for one! He's got him for two! He's got him, no! Damn it! Damn it! So close! So close!
So close, yet so far away.
Not
Nick
as far
Mondo
as you
can
think.
taste that championship.
Not as far as you think, partner. Messiah now shoots Nick Mondo at big boot. Big boot. Nick Mondo now up. He's going, and Bison! And Bison! And Bison! He nails it. And Dewey Donovan gets a little something, something.
Mondo now goes back upstairs on that top turnbuckle. Uh-oh!
And a second at Bison! A second at Bison! He's got it for two! He's got it for three! He beat him! He beat him! He beat him! He did it! He did it! We got a brand new champion! We got a brand new champion!
No!
He did it!
No!
Here comes Trent Acid! Damn it! Damn it! What's he doing here? We got a brand new champion! Ladies and gentlemen, we have a brand new World Heavyweight Champion, John!
I can't believe this!
The backseat boys in there. It's too late. It's too late. They weren't even there in time on their very first night of association for their partner, their comrade.
Eric, I can't believe this. Max Smack had no business coming down the ringside and bringing that bucket of thumbtacks.
He did it. He used it. Leave him alone. Where's the Hate Club? Where's Rick Blade? Where's John Zandig?
Yeah, where are they, Eric? The cowards are hiding out somewhere.
As soon as they hear this, as soon as they hear about what's going on, they'll be there. Trent Acid with Nick Mondo, leave him alone. The man just wrestled a championship matchup. Bam! That's ridiculous. Here they come. They've hit the ring. They've hit the ring. They've hit the ring. He's got friends too. He's got friends too. He's got friends too, John House.
What was that all about?
Oh, you know what it's about.
You want a title shot? Here's your fucking time.
That's the Iron Man title. That's the Iron Man title. That's the Iron Man title. I thought this was a world title match. I thought it was a world title
Sick Nick
match.
Mondo's so dumb, he probably didn't look at the fine print when he signed the dotted line.
Mondo pinned the World Heavyweight Champion tonight. He was told he was getting a title shot. Everybody in the building and in the back assumed it was a world title shot. He has been robbed. But the High Five are one belt less leaving this building tonight.
Nick Mondo makes me sick.
What will happen on March the 8th? Will we see more in this chapter, this war, the new beginning of the High Five tonight?
You want to keep that belt, that's fine. The score is settled. You beat me twice, I beat you twice. But I'll tell you what, I will take this belt and I will put the pride back in it that I did when I used to carry.
It's not a comedy title anymore, kids.
Oh, shut up.
I'll tell you what, you keep that belt. Little baby Jesus.
Baby Jesus. Baby Jesus, he called you. Ladies and gentlemen, in just a few days at the brand new CZW Arena, you better get your tickets now because things are just going to be crazy and chaotic in just a few days, John.
And all hell's gonna break loose at the new CZW Arena as we begin our quest to best of the best three